a fair and balanced column. Just a great guy. And very well liked here in Ogdensburg. Again, known him for years.
Well, right now the Massena Red Raiders being introduced. On defense, it'll be Danny Miller, the senior, starting, and the freshman Jacob Whitcup. And up front, it's going to be the A.J. Tubolina line, apparently. It's going to be A.J. centering Jeremy Hadler and Sean Petrie.
And starting in goal for the Raiders, we mentioned Leroy Swamp. This is his sixth start. He's coming in with a 2-3-1 record, a 3.87 goals against average, and an 870 save percentage. He's had 154 shots thrown at him.
Line out there against Richards, Tyler Richards, Adam Gilman, and Ethan Erickson to start the game. On defense, Steve Lemieux and Adam Morley, and we're off and underway. Whitcup with the puck from Massena. He'll dump it off the boards to center ice, and it's Petrie into the Ogdensburg zone. Steve Lemieux takes it up in behind the net for Ogdensburg, comes out on the left side. Headman to Erickson. His pass intercepted. Tubolino takes it back in, but he had Hadler ahead of the play, and offsides will be the call.
Steve Lemieux, that name rings a bell here in the Ogdensburg area. His dad was quite an athlete, I do believe, Jerry. You might remember him?
Yeah, I think I do remember him. Speaking of dads, Ethan Erickson, his dad, Chris Erickson, is the rink director here, and Chris has always gone way out of his way to do things for us here, and we appreciate his support. Off the face-off, Danny Miller with it from Massena, flips it back in the zone, back out again, and finally it's dumped into the Massena zone, and in behind the net it goes. Dan Miller racing in after it. Miller lets it go to Whitcup. Whitcup back to Miller. Miller looks on the wing to Hadler. Hadler breaks out left side for Massena from the red line. He'll dump it deep as Massena wants a line change. Back after it is Mike Bateman. Bateman, the big defenseman for Ogdensburg, flips it ahead on the wing to Tom Pearson. He's got room. His shot, save, rebound in front, bounces back toward the blue line. Swamp is down, but the puck is dumped in behind the net. So good chance for the Berg as a mini 2-on-1. Now it comes right in on Swamp. He loses it. It bounces in front. The Raiders are going to break it out of there. Here comes Massena. Rogers rubbed off the play. He gets knocked down, gets back up again, trying to come up with a puck. Adam Smith throws a check, but the puck squirts away, and the Blue Devils move it back out to center ice. That's Fred Larson to the Massena line, intercepted there. Right back comes Evan Labarge for Massena, trying to barge his way through. Knocked away down the ice. That'll be a backhander that goes all the way for icing against the Blue Devils.
Raiders got caught on a poor change, and number 8 out there for the Devils, Tom Pearson, got in behind. Actually, there was no one there, and the pass came from blue line to blue line, and Pearson down that left side. It turned out to be a 2-on-1. The defenseman left the Pearson for the goaltender, and Leroy was equal to the task.
Mark Darling wins the draw back to the point, but it's knocked away. Here comes Ogdensburg, again a 2-on-1, breaking in the zone. Here's the shot, fired wide, and around the boards it goes. Picked up by the Raiders. They try to clear. That was Bradish who overskated. Ogdensburg, man in front, but it's knocked away, and the Raiders dump it down the ice, and that will go right on net, so icing is waved off. The puck picked up by the big defenseman Morley, and he's huge. To the blue line, Miller keeps it in, flips it in the corner. It'll come over on the other side. Picked up there by Ryan Wignall. Wignall tries to clear the zone, doesn't. Here's a chance for Miller, trying to barge his way through. Wignall's back there. They go together, and the puck squirts to Tyler Richards. Around the boards to the blue line out to center ice. Whitcup is there for Massena. Leaves it for Petrie, who fires it in behind the net as the Raiders make a change again. Picked up behind by the Ogdensburg defense. Wignall doesn't clear. Stolen by Miller. Can he get a shot off? He does, but it goes in behind the net. There's a hand in the air, and a penalty will be called against Ogdensburg for interference.
It's going to be an interference call, and it's going to go against, I do believe, number 23. That's Adam Morley going to the gate. Raiders here, less than 2 minutes have been played and gave up two 2-on-1 breaks, Jerry, and that doesn't bode well. You can't be giving those odd man rushes like that, and we have played in less than 2 minutes. But Raiders on the power play.
It will be David Rogers taking the face-off for Massena. Off the draw, gets it to Smith, Adam Smith. No, that's Petrie, excuse me. Sean Petrie in behind the net. He'll flip it over on the other side. Trent Thomas back to the point. Danny Miller. Miller over to Evan Labarge. Labarge has to dig it out. Goes into the corner. Picked up there by Petrie. Petrie battling for it in the corner. He'll flip it. No, he's going to pass it to himself along the boards, but it gets away from him, and it's picked up by the Devils. They'll flip it out. No, it didn't make it. Miller kept it in. Danny Miller flips in the corner for Petrie. Petrie trying to go to Miller. Miller throws a check. Petrie comes up with a puck, slides it back to Miller out by the blue line. Miller winds through traffic, fired it wide. Puck along the boards. Picked up there by Thomas. Thomas out by the blue line. He winds up, shot right on. Save made by Ian Amo. He'll hold on for the faceoff.
Excellent save by Ian Amo through some traffic. Trent Thomas from that left side put a slap shot from about 40 feet out with a lot on it. Danny Miller doing a great job keeping that puck in the zone. The Devils thought they were going to clear it, but somehow Danny Miller kept it in, and the Devils know they have to contain Miller.
Tubolino wins the draw. Back to the point, it's Miller. Raiders still on the power play. Moves it around the corner. Here's Hadler, skates in front. Centering pass. Here's the shot. Save made, rebound in the slot. They battle for it. It's picked up by the Devils. They'll dump it down the ice right on, and Leroy Swamp has to make the save. He'll clear it around behind the net no, it's stolen away by Ogdensburg. Now finally coming back is Tubolino. He'll headman. Hadler knocked down. The puck picked up by Ogdensburg's Tyler Richards. He'll dump it in the zone of Massena. Danny Miller back with about 15 seconds left in the man advantage. Here comes Miller. Stick handling out of the zone. He's got room. Takes it across on the right wing side. Here's Miller. Goes in by the defense. Steps around behind the net. Looking. Rackhand shot. Oh, just wide. And Kyle Cameron was there. Couldn't put a stick on it. Tubolino back to Miller at the point. Miller's pass is intercepted. The man's coming out of the box. Is he going to have a breakaway? He's got a partial breakaway, and he fired it just wide. And that was the player who was coming out of the penalty box, Morley, who had the opportunity. So the Raiders almost give up a shorty, but then they moved the puck ahead and cleared out the center ice. Kyle Cameron's got a breakaway. Here's Cameron, and it slides just wide of the net as Amo comes out and poke-checked it at the last second, and the Devils will dump it down the ice for icing, and the face-off will come back inside Ogdensburg territory. So both teams with some near misses in the early going.
Great. Morley coming out of the penalty box, got a shot wide, then a great pass from Jeremy Hadler as Kyle Cameron got in behind the defense, and Cameron going in just at the last second. He lost the puck, but it got by the goaltender, but slid wide of the net by about 2 inches.
Mark Darling to take the face-off. And they're going to toss the Ogdensburg forward out, put Tom Pearson in there. Off the draw, back to the point, and Borden couldn't keep it in the zone. He comes back by the red line, dumps it ahead. There's a battle along the boards. Pearson knocks it by into the Massena zone, gets a shot off, gets it back again. Puck goes in the corner. Pearson again battling for it with Darling. He'll flip it ahead, and Adam Smith picks up the loose puck, trying to clear the zone. Ahead to Darling, along the boards, kept in at the point. Puck goes in behind the net. Borden with it. He takes his man out of the play, picks up the puck. Nice play by the youngster. Borden flips it on the wing and out to center ice. Dumped right back in the zone. Back after it for the Raiders, it's Patrick Horan. Horan starts out left side as the Devils make a change. Here's Horan trying to flip it out of the zone. Does not get it out. Here comes Ogdensburg. They got a man breaking in front. Can't get him. The puck is Darling. Does a good job back checking. Now the puck into Richards behind the net. Richards centering pass right across the goal mouth. It's knocked away, and Jared Bradish picks it up for Massena. Here's Bradish. His headman doesn't get to Smith. It's knocked away to the Massena line. Picked up there by the Raiders, Whitcup, and he'll just flip it ahead into Ogdensburg territory. Still no score in the hockey game. We're down to 9:21 left in the first period. Massena, OFA on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard. Out to center ice. Puck dumped into the Massena zone. Whitcup in after it. Here's Whitcup with it. In behind his net. He'll drop it for Danny Miller. We've got Supernaw's line out there now for the Raiders, and Supernaw just deflects it down the ice deep in Ogdensburg territory. Adam Morley back after it. His headman pass goes around the horn by everybody and out toward the blue line, but not out, kept in. Some good forechecking by Zeppi Ogene. The puck squirts free. Picked up there by the Duke Blue Devils, stolen away again. This time by Hatch. Dumps it in behind the net. Ogene flips it to Supernaw. He's got a man in front, but he can't get it to him. And finally, the Devils dump it, and it's going to go into the Massena zone. And the Devils are going to get there first. Here's a shot high over the net and around the boards. To the blue line, out to center ice. Picked up there and dumped right back in by Gilman. Goes in behind the net. Whitcup starts it ahead. Here comes Whitcup. Down the right wing side. Whitcup takes it by one, takes it by two. Finally, he's ridden out of the play, but he dumps the puck deep, and the Raiders will make a line change. Here comes Tubolino trying to come up with a puck. In the corner it goes. There's a battle there. Tubolino throws a check. The puck kept in at the point by Horan. He dumps it in the corner. Back to pick it up is Rabin, the defenseman for Ogdensburg. Puck squirts to the blue line. Kept in by Labarge. Makes a nice nifty move. Gets by one. Here's Labarge now. Backhands it. knocked down by the defense, clear to the blue line, and Horan keeps it in. He'll dump it into the corner. Tubolino, high slot, he's got room, winds up the shot, deflected right on, rebound, in the net! Hadler gets the goal, and the Raiders go on top 1-0.
Jeremy Hadler on his second attempt. Great job by Patrick Horn keeping it in the zone. A.J. Tubolino picked it up along the boards, got the shot right in front. Hadler just parked off Amo's right, got a stick on it, redirected. Amo made the save, but Hadler was able to jump on his own rebound, and Jeremy Hadler has put the Raiders up 1-0 with 7:41 left in this first period. Nice goal. Patrick Horn doing a great job keeping it in, and Captain A.J. Tubolino is going to draw an assist also.
So Tubolino got the shot off as he took it in the high slot, but high marks going to Hadler and also to Horan for the Massena Red Raiders. Off the draw, the puck goes back in Ogdensburg territory, picked up on the defense by Steve Lemieux. Lemieux's head man as they move it out to center ice. And to the Massena line, bouncing at the blue line. Raiders trying to clear it, and it's into the corner. Bouncing around in the corner. Massena zone, and finally it squirts free to Whitcup. Whitcup moves, doesn't clear the zone. Smith had a chance. Now he knocks it back to Whitcup, who will move it to the blue line. Out to center ice to Rogers. Rogers takes it across. He's upended. Smith tries to follow, but it's dumped out to the neutral zone. To the Massena line. Here's a shot from just inside the blue line. Goes into the mesh. And the whistle will blow and we'll have a face-off. Probably, it should be outside the zone, shouldn't it? Or did Massena knock it up into the net mesh? I'm not sure.
I think the Raiders did.
Okay.
That Massena goal coming at the 7:19 mark is second of the year. Jeremy Hadler, who was persistent enough and parked himself in front of that goaltender. This assist going to A.J. Tubolino and Patrick Horn, again at the 7:19 mark.
Mark Darling to face off against Tyler Richards in the Massena zone. Off the draw, a bouncer goes to LaBarge in the corner. He'll flip it behind the net for Borden. Alan Borden looking to headman right up the middle to Darling, and Darling breaks it out. Oftentimes that's a dangerous play, but that time it worked. Puck in behind the net, stopped by goaltender Amo. There's a battle in the corner for it. It bounces back to Darling, high slot to the point. LaBarge cranks it up, it's blocked. Comes to Darling, his shot, he fires it wide. Got a lot on that, and it goes all the way back to the other point. And the defenseman falls down. Here comes Ogdensburg breaking in and getting back as LaBarge do a great job. A great job by Evan LaBarge coming back. Cameron picks it up for Massena, breaks out of the zone over skates. Has it knocked away. Picked up there by Tyler Richards. Richards loses at the red line, and it's picked up by Cameron, who dumps it right back in OFA territory. Back after it for the Devils. Wignall, a big defenseman, big lanky defenseman. He is taken out of the play at the blue line, but the puck dumped to the Massena line. Miller, right back for the Raiders. Here comes Danny Miller, taking it across, and he's pretty well impeded, but stays with the puck somehow. Here's Miller taking it in front, short side shot. Where's the puck? And it's in behind the net. I'll tell you, the goalie looked behind him. Now, it's Sean Petrie trying to go to Miller. Miller gets tied up along the boards. Petrie comes in to help out. They battle for it, but it's going to be picked up by the Devils, and they'll dump it down the ice. That'll go for icing against Ogdensburg and move the face-off back inside OFA territory. 5:34 left first period. Raiders lead 1-0 on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard.
Coach Fredericks was aware of Danny Miller. They had scouted Massena against Potsdam, and Danny Miller put one of his patented moves down that right side into the zone, deep below the goal line. Looked like he was going behind the net, then came out on that short side and almost stuffed it in the short side. Great save by Amo.
It'll be Rogers taking the draw. Off the face-off, bouncing high in the air, slides side of the net. As Trent Thomas trying to come up with it, he can. It's Steve Lemieux. Lemieux to the blue line, out to center ice, knocked down there by Adam Smith. Puck dumped now in the Massena zone. Back for it is Rogers. He'll rip it around the boards for Thomas. Thomas circles back in behind his own net, looking. Here's Trent Thomas coming out of the zone. Thomas along the boards, looks up ice. Hits it, ahead it goes to Smith, to Rogers. His shot is knocked away. Thomas digs the rebound out from behind the net. Trying to go back to the blue line, it's knocked away. Thomas comes back, high slot, his shot, through traffic. Nice save, and a good save by Amo on a nice low shot. Puck to the blue line. Raiders try to keep it in at the point. They do. Here's Trent Thomas again, makes the move in front, backhander just wide. Puck in behind, picked up on the defense by Lemieux. Lemieux flips it on the other side to Richards. Richards around the boards to the blue line, and down the ice it goes. Icing will be waved off as the puck just crawls down the ice. Evan LaBarge back after it for Massena. Here's LaBarge, steps by a check, flips it ahead, and it's dumped way down the ice. Racing for it is Hatch, but he almost got there, but it's picked up by the Devils. They dump it out to center ice. Raider defenseman falls down. Actually, that was a forward super gnaw, and the puck is dumped in Massena territory. I'm not sure what happened. Hit a bad spot of ice. Miller will clear it around the boards. Zepiogene doesn't clear. Here's the shot, knocked away. Back toward the blue line. Danny Miller trying to get it out of the zone, but it comes into the corner. After it is Whitcup. He'll shovel it around. Whitcup gets it right back again. He'll go on the other side to Miller. Miller's got some room, looks up ice. He'll drop it back to Whitcup. Whitcup, now he'll look on the other side for Hatch, and Hatch just banks it ahead. It'll slide into the Ogdensburg zone. Back after it is Larson, the defenseman. Doesn't clear the zone. Intercepted by Matt Hatch. Flips in the corner. Hatch to Supernaw. Back to Hatch. Back to the point. Here's Whitcup. Whitcup dumps it in the corner. Here's an opportunity for Hatch. Steps by the check. Takes it behind the net. Centering pass knocked away by Tom Pearson. He has it in turn stolen. Raiders get a shot. It goes back to LaBarge off the rebound. His shot is blocked by a sprawling Blue Devil, and the puck comes back to the blue line. Another shot. Amo has to steer it into the corner. Matt Hatch after it. Hatch digs it out of the corner. Flips it to Zepiogene. Steps to the dot. Ogene shot. Fired it just wide. I think maybe Amo got a piece of it. Hatch goes back to the point. It's out to center ice. And racing after it is Patrick Horan. And both teams want to change. Here comes Horan. And he takes it across offsides. Hey, great effort by that line of Supernaw, Ogene, and Hatch.
It is a great effort. One thing they've got to get adjusted to, I think they're a little long in their shift out there, Jerry. They did that in the tournament this past weekend, but an excellent shift. They run out of gas, but they've got to get off a little quicker, but great job.
Off the face-off, puck into the Massena zone. Back after Miller, he rips it ahead. Right back in it goes. Delay offsides. Raiders clear it, however. To the Ogdensburg line. Back outside to the Massena line. Back to the Ogdensburg line. Darling tried to flip it to Miller, but Miller didn't know it was coming. Knocked him over. Now the puck comes back. Whitcup. Whitcup's headman intercepted. Here comes Tyler Richards trying to step by the check. Has it poke checked away. Ahead it goes. Whitcup can't clear the zone. It's dumped right in front of the net, but Miller will dump it off the boards the other way. Out to the neutral zone, right back inside Massena territory. Raiders lead 1-0, 2.5 left on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard first period. Puck goes to the Ogdensburg line. Picked up by the Devils. They'll flip it ahead of the Massena line. And it just trickles across. Now back out to center ice. Back in again. It'll roll right in, and Swamp will flip it to his defenseman. Here comes Massena out of the zone. Danny Miller. Miller steps by one check, and he's knocked off the puck. It slides back in the corner, picked up there by Raven. Raven rips it around the boards, intercepted by Sean Petrie. Petrie has it in turn taken away from him by Tom Pearson of Ogdensburg. He'll flip it around on the other side. Raiders try to keep it in. Tubolino. He'll flip it in the corner. After it is the big defenseman Morley. Morley rips it around the other way to the blue line, kept in at the point by Massena. Goes in the corner. Hadler. Hadler tries to center. Tubolino breaking, but it hit off a skate. Here's Tubolino behind the net. He gets knocked away. There's a delay penalty on the Berg. Raiders control the puck. Do they get the goaltender off? They've got the goaltender off, but unfortunately, the puck went off the ice too, and the whistle blows.
I think it's going to be, we'll wait and see. I thought it was Morley or Nathaniel Ashley, but it isn't. It's going to be number 23.
Adam Morley.
That is Morley that's going to go to the data as he took the legs out from under A.J. Tubolino in behind the net. I tell you, I wanted to mention his last shift out there, but number 22 for the Raiders, Trent Thomas, he shows me something exciting and new every game. He's got a lot of talent, this youngster.
Off the face-off, it goes to Petrie. Petrie lost it off the end of his stick in the corner. Larson there to rip it ahead into the circle, but it's knocked away. Now the Devils will move it, and the Raiders almost got caught, but Petrie comes back the other way. He'll flip it in the corner. Raiders get caught on offsides, and the Devils pick up the puck and shovel it down the ice. Swamp will stop it and leave it for Miller. Raiders almost got caught up in the ice and gave away an odd man rush.
Very close to being caught.
Here comes Rogers, steps by the check, then takes it across, gets by the D, gets knocked down, gets back up again. 1 minute left. Oh, Rogers saw a man in front. Petrie, he tries to center it, the shot, the save, great one, and the puck cleared. Down the ice it goes. Great opportunity there for Massena. And there's changes. Massena moving ahead. Petrie will dump it in the corner. In behind the net, picked up by that big defenseman, Bateman. Doesn't clear the zone. Miller, his shot deflected. Bouncing in front of the net. Picked up there by Petrie. Petrie back to LaBarge. LaBarge trying to center, but it's knocked away. He's going to get it right back again. LaBarge will go in the corner to Petrie. Petrie back to LaBarge. LaBarge slides to Petrie in front. It's knocked away. Miller winds up the shot and the save. And holding on for the face-off is Amo, as Miller got a lot on that one.
Did he ever get a lot on it? And I'll tell you, number 22, Trent Thomas, got a massage in front. Steve Lemieux just elbowed him and got the high stick up, and the official didn't make a call, but he really got worked over. But great shot from the point, a laser by Danny Miller that Ian Amo was best save of the night.
Face-off right side in the Massena, or in the Ogdensburg zone. Raiders win the draw. Miller goes back into the 45. Hadler handles the puck, looking. Here's Hadler. He's got Tubolino in front. Couldn't get it to him. Back to the point. Labarge winds up his shot. Knocked down in front. Puck is to Hadler. Hadler takes it into the corner again. We're down to 3 seconds left. He's not going to get a shot off as the buzzer sounds. And the period ends with the Raiders leading it on a score of 1-0. Our Massena Red Raider hockey broadcast this season brought to you on WMSA by Massena Savings and Loan, Main Street, Massena. Also by Security Supply Corporation, Route 420 Massena, your authorized Air Ease gas and oil furnace distributor. Also by Seaway Timber Harvester. Tubolino out to take the face-off against Richards, and we're underway. Raiders control it. Petrie, he'll dump it deep in OFA territory. And he comes in after the puck and over skates, but getting there is Tubolino to dump it into the corner. Around the boards it goes. Picked up there. As they battle, Tubolino gets a piece of it, and it's knocked away from him and trickles out to center ice. Petrie comes back and dumps it right back in the Ogdensburg zone. Back after it is Mike Bateman, rips it around, back to the point, not out. Here's a shot, blocked, out to center ice as, let's see, that was Whitcup winding up, and he had it blocked by the forward. Danny Miller with it high off the glass. Out to center ice it goes, right back in the zone. Delayed offsides on the Devils. They will clear, and Massena will pick up the puck. Whitcup, he'll go to Miller behind the net. Back to Whitcup. Whitcup skates. Back to Miller. Miller starts out left wing side. Here comes Danny Miller. He'll just dump it from the red line. Into the zone it goes. Raiders making wholesale changes. And the puck slides to the blue line, out to center ice, just across the line. Adam Smith is there to dump it right back in. It rolls up off the boards and over the glass and off the ice surface for a whistle and a stoppage of play. 13:54 left, middle period. Coach's Corner scoreboard says 1-0 Massena.
Good job by Jacob Whitcup and Danny Miller, showing a lot of patience out there, D to D on several occasions, frustrating that OFA forecheck and able Massena to just come out of the end very easily.
David Rogers takes the faceoff, now flips it ahead to Trent Thomas. Thomas goes in the corner after it, draws a crowd, still comes away with the puck, goes back to the point. Here's a shot, Horan, and it's blocked. It's picked up by the Devils, and they'll dump actually on the wrong side of the red line. They gave them that time the red line, and the puck goes in the Massena zone where Rogers comes back for it. Rogers' headman deflected to the neutral zone, dumped right back in by the Devils. 1-0 Massena. Evan Labarge picks it up at his own end. He'll start it ahead. Smith deflects it by the defenseman. It trickles in the Ogdensburg zone, but coming back to pick it up is Larson. Here's Larson. Long head man goes by everybody. That'll be an icing call against the Devils. Down the ice it goes, and we'll have a face-off back inside Ogdensburg territory.
One thing I haven't noticed this year, maybe it's happened, but goaltender Leroy Swamp, a lot more animated tonight, Jerry. He's helping the defense, telling them where the puck is, where the pressure's coming from, and you like that communication between your goaltender and your defense.
There's our old buddy Chris Erickson, the rink director here. Off the face-off, puck controlled by the Raiders. Jared Bradish in the corner looking to center. It's going to come to Darling. He gets tied up, stays with it. Now it's knocked away. Devils move it to the Massena line, and across the blue line it goes. Danny Miller back after it. Miller looks, flips it ahead. Out to the neutral zone again, right back in on an Ogdensburg stick. They battle for it right in front of the benches. Darling is in there. He finally flips it in the corner. Racing after it is Kyle Cameron. He goes against Wignall. Now there's Mutton Jeff, no doubt about it. Cameron's about half his size. Here comes Ogdensburg out to center ice. Into the Massena zone, it's Gilman. Gilman centering pass, but it's knocked away back to the point. Here's a shot. Leroy makes the save. Puck goes into the corner. Here's another shot on the backhand by Richards. Goes in behind the net. Miller after it. Danny Miller flips it along the boards. Doesn't clear the zone, but now it's going to be picked up by Kyle Cameron, and he'll flip it ahead. Darling over skates, and the puck dumped right back in by Ogdensburg. And that'll be icing against the Berg and move the faceoff back inside their territory.
And again, the only goal, 1-0 Raider lead coming in the first period, his second of the year. Jeremy Hadler with captain A.J. Tubolino and Patrick Horn picking up the assists.
Tubolino was out to take the faceoff inside Ogdensburg territory after the icing. Nathaniel Ashley out there to draw for the Devils.
Ogdensburg short a man.
Hey, isn't that your favorite song playing right now, Coach?
One of my favorites.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
One of my favorites. I have many.
Face off on the right, off the draw. Raiders win it. Here's LaBarge. Nice save by Amo as LaBarge got a shot off through traffic. Devils move it around the boards and out to center ice. They got a man breaking, but it gets by him. Picked up by LaBarge. LaBarge, he'll flip it along the boards. Hadler. Jeremy Hadler down the left side. Dumps it deep in OFA territory. Cruising in is Sean Petrie. Petrie looks to dump it. He gets upended. Now Hadler throws a check. Petrie trying to pick up the loose puck. It's still in the skates. Now Hadler skates out of the fray. Here's Hadler looking to go back to the point. Now he'll dump it back. He gets it. Hadler trying to stick handle by the defenseman. Gets tied up by Larson. They battle for it in the corner now. Tubolino upended. Falls down. They still battle for the puck in the corner. Nobody can get a handle on it. Finally, it's Tubolino gets upended again. Stays with it in front. Shot, score! Jeremy Hadler gets his second goal of the game, and that was a rocket. A nice feed from Tubolino.
Oh, A.J. Tubolino just battling along the boards in behind the goal line. He out-battled about 3 Devil players, finally got possession of it, almost behind the net, flipped it out in front, and Jeremy Hadler parked out there just off to Amo's left, and it was on the stick and in the net. His second of the night. Great goal and a great job by Captain A.J. Tubolino.
Oh, what a rocket that was, though. And off the face-off, Horan flips it inside Ogdensburg territory. Tubolino is there again. He gets tied up behind the net. The puck bounced. Amo got a piece of it, the goaltender. He'll flip it to his forward, Richards, who moves it out to center ice. Patrick Horan backhands it out of the zone, just out of the zone. And back comes Ogdensburg from the red line, dumping it right back in the Massena zone. Evan LaBarge picks up the loose puck behind the net, starts out right side. Here's LaBarge. He's going to carry it, builds up the head of steam. Here's LaBarge. He has it poke checked away, but the puck kept in momentarily. Now goes back to the Massena line. Horan is there, flips it ahead to the red line. Picked up there by the forward Erickson, loses it. Here comes Massena. Opportunity, LaBarge. His shot right on Amo makes the save. Puck cleared around the boards, comes back to LaBarge again. He winds up. Amo makes save, gives a big rebound. Supernal was there but couldn't get a shot off. Now the puck behind the net. Hatch gets wound. The puck comes back to Miller at the point. He golfs one high in the air off a stick. The puck around the boards cleared out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Whitcup. Whitcup's pass intercepted. Comes into the Massena zone where Danny Miller goes behind the net to pick it up. Ogdensburg making changes. Here comes Miller. Trying to clear the zone. Does not. Puck kept in the zone. Supernaw can't control it. Now he does. Flips it ahead to the blue line and out to center ice. Dumped right back in there, where it'll be picked up by Jake Whitcup. Whitcup in behind his own net. He'll rip it around the boards for Zepi Ogene. Ogene turns it, moves it ahead to the blue line, out to center ice. Right back it goes in Massena territory. Miller picks it up. He'll flip it out to center ice, dumped right back in to lay off sides on the Devils. They'll clear the zone. Puck comes around the boards, picked up by the Raiders. That's Matt Hatch, takes it behind the net. He'll rip it around for Zepi Ogene. Ogene just shovels it to the blue line, not out of the zone, bouncing around out by the blue line. Finally, it's out to center ice. Here comes Hatch with it. Hatch has got Supernaw. Can he get to the puck? He can't quite get there. It's picked up by Lemieux. Lemieux flips it on the wing. Here come the Devils. Back the other way to the Massena line, intercepted by LaBarge, knocked away. Back in the zone, here comes Ogdensburg. That's Tom Pearson. LaBarge forces him wide. Pearson in the corner. LaBarge knocks it away. Now it's Supernaw. He'll flip the puck to LaBarge. LaBarge moves it ahead. Here comes LaBarge out to center ice, takes it down the left wing side, and he'll dump it from the blue line deep. Rogers in after it for Massena. He's got Thomas, tries to center it to him, but it's knocked away. Thomas in the corner, but it's picked up by the Devils. They move it to the blue line. They got a man breaking. They didn't get the puck out of the zone. Kept in nicely by Horan. Puck bouncing around. Finally, it's picked up again by the Devils, Larson, and he'll just slide it into the Massena zone. It's going to trickle right in, where it's picked up by LaBarge. LaBarge overskates, lost it behind the net, gets it back again, caught a break. Goes on the wing to the blue line, out to center ice, goes by everybody, and that'll go for icing against Massena. It was a nice pass to Thomas, he just didn't see it. 8:33 left in the second period. Raiders lead the Devils 2-0 on the Coach's Corner scoreboard.
That second Massena goal coming at the 3:30 mark of the second period. His second of the night, third of the year. Jeremy Hadler with A.J. Tubolino picking up the assist.
Mike Morrow will take the face-off inside Massena territory. Off the draw it comes to Miller behind the net. Miller skates, flips it ahead to the blue line, not out of the zone. Here's a shot through traffic. Swamp makes the save. Puck in the corner. Picked up again by Pearson. He loses it Around the boards it goes. Raiders, and it's Jared Bradish moving it out to center ice. Back to the Massena line. Miller flips it ahead. Goes to Darling. Darling right back to Miller. Give and go. Miller down the left wing side. Quick shot. Glove save. As Miller had that one labeled for the upper left-hand corner. And Amo with a quick glove grabs it.
Ian Amo, big save through some traffic, too. He had a defenseman, Danny Miller, from the left dot, fired a shot that used the defenseman as a screen. Amo, great glove save. That was labeled top left-hand corner.
Off the draw, Mark Darling. Face-off won by Ogdensburg. Adam Morley rips it around the boards and out to center ice right there. It's picked up again by Massena's Bradish, and he'll dump it right back in the zone. Ogdensburg defense trying to move it around the horn. Kevin Pearson to the blue line, not out of the zone, kept in by Darling momentarily. Back to the blue line. Is it still in there? It is still in there. The puck picked up again by Wignall. He'll go around on the other side for Pearson. He'll drop it right back to Wignall. Massena making a line change in the meantime as the Tubolino line coming back out there. Here's Tubolino in the corner. Lost it, trying to get it back again. It's stolen by Darling. Can he get the shot off? He's hauled down. The puck goes to Tubolino. Tubolino gets by one. Comes in front. It's poke checked. Side of the net. Raiders clear it to the blue line. Danny Miller shovels it. Oh, good save made again by Ian Amo. Puck in the corner. Along the boards it goes. Digging for it is Bradish. Can he keep it in the zone? Now it's Miller. Back to Bradish. Winds up. Ooh, that had to hurt. Went off a leg. In the corner. Around the boards it's Pearson. Pearson, he gets tied up. He just wants to tie the puck up along the boards. It squirts free. Oh, the whistle blows. But the puck was free. And we'll have a face-off as the Raiders putting on all kinds of pressure.
And Coach Latham just put his hands up in exasperation. He thought it was a quick whistle. The Raiders really having the Devils hemmed in their own end. What a super job out there by Captain A.J. Tubolino. He is just plain possessed out there. He's all over the place.
Tubolino will take the face-off inside Ogdensburg territory. Left side. They drop the puck. Tubolino wins the draw. Back to Labarge at the point. The shot deflected right on. Oh, the save. There's Hadler right in front of the net again. And he almost got another one. Here's Tubolino. Dipsy-doodling behind the net. Stick handles. Goes to Hadler. In front. The shot. Petrie can't get it away. And the puck finally clear to the blue line. Out to center ice. Here come the Devils the other way. They're going to dump it in the Massena zone. Takes a bounce in behind the net to the side of the net. Flipped high over the net. Along the boards in front of the net, but the Raiders come up with it. Borden, he gets knocked down. The puck slides along the boards, gets it right back again. Borden flips it ahead to the blue line, not out of the zone. Here's a shot. Swamp makes the save. He's going to cover up and hold on for the face-off. As the Raiders had a couple of chances to clear and hit people with it. And so good cover-up by Leroy Swamp.
Young defenseman learning all the time. He's got possession. No one's open. He wants to get rid of it. He's got to fire it harder than that to clear the zone. And he realizes, I'm sure when he came to the bench, he kind of had that sheepish look on his face. He realized that next time he won't do that.
Face-off will be right side in the Massena zone. And it's Rogers. Devils win the draw. Here's a shot knocked down, and Rogers picks up the puck. He'll headman it. Trying to go to Thomas, knocked away. Back out to the neutral zone. Whitcup from the red line. He'll dump just across the blue line. Here's Rogers over skates. Smith tries to follow back to the point. Whitcup takes a whack at it. Can he keep it in the zone? He did, briefly. But now the Devils will move it to the blue line. Not out of the zone as of yet. They finally clear it ahead. There's a battle for it right back in Ogdensburg territory. They look to move again. They're going to dump it from the red line deep in Massena territory. Jake Whitcup back in after. Raiders lead 2-0. Whitcup around the boards, intercepted. Throws a check. The puck squirts free. Rogers back helping out. Comes in behind the net. Miller throws a hard check. The puck goes bouncing into the corner. Pearson after it. He tries to move it in behind. They got a man breaking in front. Shot saved. Swamp, another man in front. Shot, and the puck went off a leg, I think. Raiders running around a little bit. They move it in front. Goes to the side of the net. Shot. I think Swamp made a big save. And Swamp has the puck covered up and holds on for the face-off as there's a huge scrum to the side of the net. I think Leroy had at least one real good save in that exchange.
Two great opportunities for the Devil. Mike Morrow first, then Nathaniel Ashley. And that puck was in that scrum. A second ago we had a whistle in 2 seconds. I don't know who could see that puck down there. We certainly couldn't see it. There was about 5 players in that in a space of about 3 feet, and somehow that whistle didn't blow, but finally Leroy got a hold of it. But two great opportunities for Ogdensburg.
Face off inside Massena territory. Supernaw, here's a shot right off the draw. It comes off the puck, and it's Labarge. Loses it, side of the net. Here's a quick shot. Score! And that's going to be Let's see here.
Mike Morrow.
Morley, is it?
Morrow, I believe.
Oh, Morrow. Okay, Mike Morrow getting the goal.
I think it's going to be Morrow. That's that same line. They had a couple of opportunities in that last shift, and they were out there matched against the Raiders' fourth unit. And, boy, I'll tell you, they were too tough to handle, too big physically. And they won the draw, got it in behind the net, and Morrow stepping out from that right side, picking up a rebound, and it was just a rocket that he blew it by Leroy Swamp.
Off the faceoff, it trickles inside OFA territory. And, Amo, big opportunity. He went to clear the puck and cleared it right on the Massena stick and had to make a big save and hold on for the faceoff. 2-1 now. Raiders lead by a singleton with 5:04 left in the second period on the coach's corner scoreboard.
Yeah, the Devils almost gave that back right to Zeppi O'Gene. Amo did a poor job clearing the puck, cleared it right out to Zeppi, but he couldn't finish.
Off the draw, puck sits in the circle. And here's Supernaw shot right on. Save made. Rebound cleared along the boards. Labarge can't keep it in. Back to the Massena line. Pat Horan is there to flip it ahead. And it's dumped right back in Massena territory. Swamp leaves it for Labarge. Labarge comes out of the corner, flips it ahead. Raiders break it out to center ice. Intercepted, bounce back to the Massena line, and actually bounces into the Ogdensburg bench. And we'll have a face-off with 4:41 left in the middle period. Raiders lead Ogdensburg 2-1.
Yeah, the Devils have that lead. Mike Morrow picking up the goal from Nathaniel Ashley. We'll see who the other assist. If it's Pearson, Tom Pearson, that line getting the goal. And they had just came within a whisker just before that face-off of getting one, and they finally finished here. 4:41 left in the period. 2-1 Massena.
Off the draw, the puck trickles back in Massena territory. Jake Whitcup racing in after with his opposite number 8, Pearson. Pearson gets there first and gets a shot off, and it looked like Swamp had it covered, but he didn't. But now the Raiders break it out again. Here's Kyle Cameron, gets a shot off, fired it wide. Puck around the boards and in the corner, in behind the net, picked up there by Bradish. Bradish centering in front, bouncing around in the slot, and it goes into the corner. To the blue line. Whitcup, can he keep it in? He does. Now the puck comes bouncing in front to Cameron. He just overskated it. Picked up by the Devils. They got a man breaking. He's got the puck in the zone. Rolls right on Swamp. He's going to cover up and hold on for the faceoff. That was Tom Pearson again. He kind of split the defense, but didn't have a good handle on the puck.
Tom Pearson did split the defense. He was a half a stride ahead and didn't have a good handle. He was being bothered a little bit by Nathan Whitcup, and as I said, he couldn't control the puck. It rolled right to Leroy Swamp, who held on for a face-off.
Face-off left side in the Massena zone. Off the draw, Labarge. He'll flip it on the other side for Horan. Patrick Horan starts out right side. Here's Horan trying to flip it ahead. Has it knocked away. Raiders pick it up, though. Here comes Hadler. Takes it across. It's knocked away. He tried to make the move, and it's stolen away by Tyler Richards. Richards got a man breaking, but it's by him and into the corner. Racing after it there. Here's an opportunity for Ogdensburg. They sending a man in front all by himself. Swamp makes the save and holds on. As whoever that was right in front, the defenseman who pinched in Lemieux, he fired it right at him.
I'll tell you, what a great opportunity for the Devils. They won the battle, got to the puck along the boards, and it might have been Lemieux or number 3 Richards right out in front, Jerry, all alone. And there wasn't a red shirt within 8 feet of him, and Leroy held his ground and fired a shot right at him.
Off the faceoff, Devils win it. Here's a puck right in front of the net, but it's cleared into the corner. Miller had the man tied up. That was Erickson. Erickson and Miller battle in the corner. The puck squirts free. Thomas will drop back to Miller, get it back again. Along the boards, Trent Thomas trying to barge out of the zone. He doesn't get it out of the zone, but it comes to Miller. Miller takes a whack at it, does clear it out. Back in again. The layoff side's on the Devils. Raiders come up with a puck. Here's a long head man, goes by everybody. And it looked like Smith could have grabbed that, but he didn't, and icing will be the call and move the faceoff back in the Massena zone. 3:05 left in the middle period. Raiders holding on to a 2-1 advantage over Ogdensburg.
And as that normally happens in a close game, the club that scores the goal gets energized, and that goal, their only goal, has really energized the Devils, and they're taking it right to Massena right now.
Faceoff right side in the Massena zone. Raiders win the draw. Goes in behind the net. Pat Horan with it. Will go to Labarge. Labarge steps by the check and then flips it on the backhand. Raiders break it out. But again, it gets by Smith. Picked up by the Devils back to center ice. Bouncing around by the Massena line. Just trickles across the blue line. Finally, the Raiders, Rogers will come back and pick it up. Rogers trying to clear the zone. Luckily, he gets it out to center ice. Dumped right back in. Knocked down by Labarge. Labarge looks up ice. Flips it ahead. Thomas's backhand knocked away. Bouncing around, dumped back in the Massena zone. After it is Horan. Pearson gets there first. He and Horan going to the boards. Coming in to help out is Morrow. He gets tied up. The puck squirts free. Goes in behind. There's still a battle. They center it, but Labarge is there to break it up. Here's Labarge. Trying to step by the check. He gets taken out of the play, but Horan follows. Here's Patrick Horan. Steps by a check, moves it ahead. Horan looking to pass. It's intercepted, and they battle right in front of the Massena bench. To the Massena line. Here's the puck in the zone right in front. The shot hit the goalpost, and Swamp's got it in the glove off the goalpost. As breaking in was Fred Larson, made a great move right in front of the net, beat Swamp, put it off the goalpost, and Swamp grabbed it.
Oh boy, again, the Raiders being guilty of allowing a white shirt in behind them. The Devils bench right at the blue line. Larson came off the bench and they lost track of him. Messena defense were between the blue line and the red line. Great pass. I don't know who made the pass to Larson on that right side. He went down, cut across in the middle, and he was on his, it was a left-hand shot, rang one right off the right goalpost. Had the Swamp beaten.
Off the face-off, puck clear to the blue line and out to center ice. Back to the Massena line, back out to the neutral zone. Raiders try to go to Hadler, and he'll shovel it in the corner, gets tied up. Puck cleared back toward the point, not out of the zone, kept in by Miller. Miller gets it back. No, it goes to Tubolino, rather. He tries to go in the corner to Petrie. There's going to be a controlling with a high stick, I believe. Yeah, that's what it is, controlling with a high stick as Ogdensburg touches it. And we'll have a face-off inside Ogdensburg territory. 1:34 left in the second period. Raiders holding on to a 2-1 lead on the coach's corner scoreboard.
But need a good shift right about now because the momentum is swung definitely to the Devils' side, and the Raiders have to come out and put a little pressure on Ian Amo.
Off the face-off. Puck sits in the circle. Here's the shot, the save made by Amo as Petrie got it right off the face-off. Puck toward the blue line, out to center ice at the red line. Ogdensburg breaks back across the blue, but it's stolen. That's Tubolino trying to poke check it ahead. Has it knocked away. Back to the Massena line. Back out to the neutral zone. Tubolino. Here's Tubolino taking it across. Does a shift. Drops to Heather. Winds up the shot. Big save. Rebound cleared side of the net. Back toward the point. Whitcup keeps it in nicely. Here's Whitcup trying to stick handle into the corner. It's knocked away and picked up by Tyler Richards. Richards will flip it around on the other side, and the Devils pick it up. To the blue line. Out to center ice, to the Massena line, and across the blue line it goes. Picked up by Whitcup. Whitcup in behind his own net for Massena. He'll just roll it ahead to the blue line and not out. Dumped right back in the corner by the Raiders. Miller throws a check. Bouncing puck. Hadler trying to come up with it. Along the boards it goes. Hadler, and we have a whistle. And we got a penalty for holding behind the play.
Raiders came within a whisker of making it 3-1, and A.J. Tubolino on that left side. Great drop pass, and Jeremy Hadler one-timed shot from inside the top of the circle. Ian Amo, his best save of the night. And the Raiders going to go to the gate. It's going to be
Miller for holding. And
Danny
I didn't
Miller.
really see that one, but
along
they were closer than me.
Along the boards, and he put a little clutch on him. This is the first penalty of the night for the Raiders with 36 seconds left in this second period.
Face off in the Massena zone off the draw. Raiders win it. Labarge flips it ahead, but not out of the zone. Kept in at the point by Lemieux. Winds up. His shot is blocked. He gets it back again. Shoots it again, and that goes into the corner off a body. Labarge trying to flip it away. Controlled by the Devils. Back to the point. Here comes Lemieux at the 45. The shot goes off a leg. Bouncing back to the other point. Here's another shot knocked down. Goes into the corner. In behind with about 10 seconds left. Ogdensburg controls to the 45. They got a man breaking in, but they're going to go back to the point. Here's a shot from the point, deflected. Ooh, that goes just wide. 1 second. That'll take care of the period. And the Raiders hold on so far. They did give up a goal, but they still have the 2-1 lead. After 2 periods of play, they'll have 54 seconds to kill when we go in the third period. Our broadcast of Raider Hockey brought to you by
Marge and Horan on defense.
And we're ready to go. Off the face-off, the Raiders win the draw, dump it all the way down the ice in Ogdensburg territory. Back to pick it up, Steve Lemieux. Lemieux looking on the wing as they try to move it out of the zone. And that's Larson up to center ice. He'll take it across. Larson into the corner. He stops at the 45. They've got Larson playing up front on this power play. and he's got the puck top of the circle, winds up, the shot, save, where's the puck? And it's in Leroy Swamp's glove. He holds on for the faceoff with 31 seconds remaining in the power play. Still 2-1 Massena on the coach's corner scoreboard.
Fred Larson just shaking his head over there as he had a great opportunity on that right side, but he couldn't beat the goaltender Leroy Swamp.
Larson will take the faceoff against Tubolino. It goes to Horan to Labarge. Labarge gets rubbed off the play. The puck stolen. And they move it around the horn back to the point. That's Richards back at the point. He'll flip it to Pearson. Pearson in the corner. 17 seconds and counting. Pearson behind the net. Looks to move it back toward the point. They got Lemieux back there. Goes into the circle. Back in the corner. They move it around. Back to Lemieux. Here's the shot. Save made. Swamp's got a hold of it. He caught that one chest high and holds on for the faceoff with 4 seconds left in the man advantage.
Again, it's Fred Larson from that right side. He's another big one, 6'1", 190, and he's had several good scoring opportunities. So down to 4 seconds, as you mentioned, in this power play.
Real important face-off right here. Sean Petrie will take it. And it's won by Ogdensburg, but it trickles out to center ice. Raiders catch a break, and they get a man back on the ice. To the Massena line it goes. Stolen away, but still in the zone as Miller took a whack at it. Here's a sharp angle shot, goes way wide. Puck will go back along the boards toward the blue line. Petrie coming after it. Now it's Whitcup. Whitcup over on the other side. Horan lost his edge. Morrow picks up the puck. Morrow in behind the net. Circles, gets a weak shot on, and I don't know if it hit the side of the net or the save was made, but the Raiders' Whitcup comes up with it, flips it ahead out to the neutral zone. Picked up by the Devils. They'll dump it to the Massena line. Whitcup is there, flipping it ahead. And dumping it in the zone is Jared Bradish. Puck goes in behind the net. Picked up there by Adam Morley. Morley moves it along the boards to the blue line. Stolen by Darling. He'll drop it back on the Massena point. Here comes the Raiders. Horan flips it ahead. Back out to the neutral zone. Rogers is there to dump it deep in Ogdensburg territory. Now the puck stolen momentarily, then restolen. Not out of the zone, however. Here's a chance for Bradish. He fired it behind the net. Here's a sharp angle bouncer in front. That hit the goalie, almost went in, but the Devils will clear it out to the neutral zone. Into Massena territory, stolen away, trickles back outside, back in again. Delay offsides on the Devils. Raiders pick up the puck. Horan will flip to Miller. Miller moves it along the boards and over skates. Puck back to the Massena line. Whitcup trying to come up with it. He'll flip it back in the corner. Kyle Cameron goes back after it. He'll try to bounce it around the board. It's intercepted. They try to move it in front. They get a man. The shot. And that didn't get through. Raiders control. Danny Miller with it. Miller steps by the check, loses his edge, and then flips it ahead for Cameron. Cameron trying to come up with it. He can't. And right back inside Massena territory, the puck goes bouncing into the corner. Picked up by Miller again. Miller looking, takes it behind his net, goes to Cameron on the wing. Kyle looks up ice. Nice head man. Here's Darling. Darling busts in on the left wing side. The shot. Save, and a good one by Amo.
Mark Darling found himself in possession of a loose puck just outside the blue line, and he jumped on it, and he was running out of gas. It was towards the end of his shift, went right in on that left side. Nice shot from about 10 feet out, but a good save by Ian Amo. Great to save, in fact, considering the circumstances. That would have shifted that momentum back to the Raiders' side.
It will be Richards facing off against Tubolino inside OFA territory. Off the draw, Tubolino wins it, but it's going to go all the way down the ice. And it'll trickle in behind the net. Labarge trying to come up with it. He kind of overskates, but Tubolino back there to help out. Here's AJ coming out of the side of the net, flipping it ahead. Petrie trying to move it to Hadler. It gets bounced away. Into the Massena zone again. Petrie will try to chase it down behind the net. He'll flip it on the other side for Alan Borden. Borden's headman pass goes by everybody out to the neutral zone. Dump right back to the Massena zone. Petrie flips it back out again. Here comes Massena's opportunity. Here's Hadler trying to dipsy-doodle by the defenseman, but it's knocked away in a good play by Wignall. Hadler ties him up behind the net. Petrie trying to come up with a loose puck, and he flips it to Hadler. It's going to get away from him along the boards by Lemieux to the blue line out to center ice. Labarge is there, trying to flip it ahead. Back inside Massena territory, Tyler Richards. Sharp angle, his pass is knocked away. Tubolino trying to chase it in, but it's going to come to Petrie instead. Petrie looks up ice to the blue line, down the ice to the Ogdensburg zone, where it's picked up, and back the other way come the Devils. Shot from center ice, and Swamp's going to hold on for the face-off.
Long shot from about 65 feet out by Mike Morrow, and he had some mustard on that. Leroy Swamp coming out at the top of the blue ice to glove it and hold on for a face-off.
Still 2-1 Massena with 10:55 left in the third period. Off the draw, puck in the circle, won by Massena, goes to Miller. He'll rip it around the boards for Adam Smith. Smith coming out of the zone. Headman pass to the neutral zone, dumped right back in by the Devils. It'll come to Horan. Horan bouncing it high along the boards to the blue line and out to center ice. Back after it. Here comes Morley in his own end. He'll circle behind his own net. Picks up Adam Smith as a forechecker, but clears it ahead into the Massena zone. It'll roll right in, and Swamp's going to cover up and hold on with some Devils breaking in on him.
Good decision by Leroy Swamp as Patrick Horn coming back. The puck on end, rolling to Leroy, and Horn having a Devil forward right on his backside. Leroy elected to hold on for a faceoff. Smart move.
10:28 left in the third period. 2-1 Massena on the coach's corner scoreboard. Off the draw. Here's a shot. It's blocked. Getting back. Here's another shot. Ooh, deflected just wide. That was Mike Morrow, side of the net. He got a stick on it, but it went wide. Smith moves it out to center ice. Rogers tries to come up with it. Goes back to the Massena line, back in the zone. Here's an opportunity. Got a man in front. Can he get a backhander off? It's blocked. And here comes Rogers back the other way for Massena. Rogers in on the off wing. He draws a crowd, then dumps it in behind the net. Back after it is Lemieux. Lemieux steps by a check. Adam Smith trying to stay with him. Lemieux flips it back out, but not out of the zone. Kept in there momentarily by Labarge, but now it's flipped out to center ice. Danny Miller shovels it along the boards to the Ogdensburg line, right back to the Massena line. Picked up by the Devils. They try to dump it in the zone, but it's knocked away. Here comes Massena across the blue line. Trent Thomas gets a shot and fired it up over the glass, up over the boards rather. Here's a check as Hatch just gets railed by Lemieux, and the Devils move it to the blue line. Labarge can't keep it in the zone, but Trent Thomas is back to feed it to Whitcup. Whitcup just shovels it ahead. Here's Hatch. Hatch gets nailed again, but the puck comes to Whitcup. Whitcup takes it in on the right wing side, cuts across the grain, gets by the D. Here's Whitcup short side, and he just didn't get the shot off at the last second as he just sifted through the line, and now the puck dumped by Ogdensburg for the icing, and we'll have a face-off in the Ogdensburg zone.
Jacob Whitcup sifting his way on that right side. Not a lot of speed, but he's getting faster every day, but he's got some great moves out there, and he worked his way, but just couldn't trigger it. It kind of rolled on him, and he was a little out of position right at the end.
Ashley against Supernaut inside Ogdensburg territory. Off the draw, won by Massena. Back to the point, Miller. Miller goes to Horan. Horan trying to dump it in the corner, but it's knocked down the ice. That'll be another icing call against Ogdensburg and move the faceoff back inside Devil territory.
This is the line the Raiders really have to be conscious of, this line of Ashley, Morrow, and Pearson, because they've been a force every time they've been out there tonight, and they are dangerous.
Now they're going to switch and put the Tubolino line out there. Faceoff left side in Ogdensburg territory. Off the draw, Raiders win it. Here's Petrie's shot. It's blocked and dumped out to center ice. Miller gets a piece of it, but doesn't stay with it. Here's Morrow busting in on the right wing side, gets a shot off, and the save made by Swamp. It rolled right by the goal mouth. Now it's picked up by Hadler. Hadler breaks out of the zone, just flips it ahead. Here comes Tubolino across the blue line, right down the middle. Poke checked away at the last minute. Out to center ice it comes. Into the Massena zone again. It's Ashley. He's knocked off the puck. Back comes Tubolino. 1-on-4. Trying to sift through. Here's Tubolino. Sharp angle shot. Score! Tubolino, and the Raiders go up 3-1.
Oh, boy. Ian Amo would love to have that one back. And as Jerry called it, it was 1-on-4. A.J. Tubolino. The Raiders, as the rest of his mates were going for a change, and he crossed that blue line on the left side, and he was at a very tough angle on that left side, almost down to that goal line. He finally unloaded a low shot, and Amo lost his focus. It beat him low to the glove side, and a big goal for Massena.
So the Raiders take a 2-goal advantage again with about 8.5 left in the third period. Puck in the Massena zone. Swamp. He gets upended, and there's going to be a penalty. You just can't hit the goaltender. And the puck finally touched by Ogdensburg, and the Raiders will go on the power play. That's going to be charging. They got him pretty good, too.
Tyler Richards, I do believe, will get the gate. He's shaking his head and wondering at Coach Fredericks, but he's going to go to the gate for a minute and a half for charging against the Massena goaltender. Leroy came out behind the net to play the puck, and Tyler Richards just bowled him over, and immediately the arm went up, and Massena on the power play.
So the Raiders get a chance here, leading 3-1 on the power play. Off the face-off, puck in the zone. Rogers battles into the corner with it. It bounces where it's picked up by Bateman. He'll rip it around the boards. Labarge keeps it in. No, that's, that is Labarge. He gets it in front. Trent Thomas shot. Save made. Rebound. Sits in the circle, but it bounces off a leg back into the corner. Picked up by Thomas again. He'll shovel it behind the net. Knocked away. Thomas dumps it around on the other side, but it looks like the Devils, Bateman's going to pick it up. He doesn't clear the puck, however. Goes in the corner. Bateman back after it. This time he steps by the check, clears to the blue line. Here's a chance for Miller's shot. Score! Danny Miller! And the Raiders go up 4-1.
Evan Labarge across to Danny Miller. The Raiders won the battle deep in the corner to the left. Got it back to Labarge on that left side. He threw it across to Miller on that right side, and he one-timed it. And I don't know if it hit something, hit a play or what, but it took a strange little dip at the end. And, again, beat Amo low to the glove side. That's the second one that's beaten him in that same spot. And this one is about a 55-footer, and the first one, A.J. Tubolino's, was about a 10-footer.
So the Raiders take a 4-1 lead here. And it's Labarge with a puck behind his own net. He'll start out for Massena. Here's Labarge down the right wing side. Poke checked away. Back come the Devils with a 2-on-1. Here's Pearson's shot. Saving a good one by Leroy Swamp. Got it with a shaft of his stick. And Mark Darling comes over and gives him a little hug because the Raiders got caught up again and they gave up a 2-on-1. The defenseman carrying the puck, nobody stayed back to cover him, and the Devils just poked it by him and went in on a 2-on-1.
And Pearson, just a great, that was labeled. It was going to go top right-hand corner. Leroy got it with either the blocker or the shaft of the stick.
Off the face-off, puck controlled by Jacob Whitcup. Whitcup starts out, left side, looks up ice, flips it on the wing. Hatch, try to clear, bounces around, into the corner it goes. Picked up by Whitcup again. Raiders lead it on a score of 4-1 here with 7 minutes left in the third period. Danny Miller with it, flips it ahead for Hatch. Hatch just banks it ahead to Supernaut. Supernaut, trying to make the move, but it's cleared back to the blue line. And out to center. No, it didn't go out to center. Yeah, it just trickles out to center ice. Dumped back in. The Raiders will have to get onside. Raiders lead 4-1 on the coach's corner scoreboard, third period. Hatch throws a check to the blue line. Miller's shot, and we got a penalty. And I think it's going to go against the Devils again as poor Matt Supernaw just got leveled by one of the big Ogdensburg players who was going to get the gate. That was Wignall, who again is what, twice his size?
At least. He's 6'4", 225. And Matt Supernaw, let's take a look here. He is 5'4", 115 if he's got a couple of wet bricks in his back pocket. So, yeah. And Raiders back in the power play, but they don't need another goal right now to make sure that focus on defense.
And here comes Labarge, flipping it in the corner. In behind the net is Lemieux. Lemieux gets tied up. Rogers trying to dig it out with Petrie. And it comes to Rogers. Rogers steps behind the net, goes to the side of the net. Here's a sharp angle shot. Big save made, bouncing in the crease. And Amo holds on for the faceoff. And good job by the Ogdensburg defense. Ethan Erickson back checking and Steve Lemieux to tie up. Who was that? Was that Trent Thomas in there?
I believe so. Those two goals by the Raiders, 54 seconds. A.J. Tubolino was 5th of the year, and then Danny Miller, that's his 8th of the year, and that was a power play.
So the Raiders have a 4-1 lead here and win the draw. Dan Miller winds up his shot. Amo makes a save up into the screen, and we'll do it again. He saw that one all the way.
Again, just to emphasize that point, it would be nice if Massena got another one, but their focus right now should be on defense. You're up 4-1. Don't give the opposition a shorthanded goal and give them a little spark.
Face off inside Ogdensburg territory. Off the draw, Tubolino back to the point. Whitcup trying to flip it in, gets it back again. Moves it along the boards. Here's Whitcup into the circle. He'll drop it behind the net. Trying to get it back again was Bradish. He comes in front. Bradish in front. Shot. Score! Tubolino. What a great pass from Bradish to Tubolino.
Outstanding pass, Jared Bradish, and I think it's going to be Jacob Whitcup's going to get the assist. Whitcup down in the corner, dug it out and got it to Bradish, who wheeled out of that left side, and everybody focused on him. But Bradish looking across, A.J. Tubolino wide open on that right side. Great pass across to A.J., and he wasted no time and put it right between the legs of Ian Amo. Great finish and a great pass by Jared Bradish and number 8, Jacob Whitcup, who dug it out of the corner.
Whitcup is getting, as you said, better every game. Off the face-off, the puck in the neutral zone, bouncing around to the Massena line. Here comes Massena again. This time, the drop pass, back to the point, and out to center ice. It's going to come to Ian Maxwell. Maxwell flips it ahead to the Ogdensburg line. Back in the corner it goes, picked up by Adam Morley, almost stolen away. Back along the point, kept in by Maxwell, pinching in. And around the boards, he'll try the right side. Hadler steps in front of the pass, takes a check. The puck comes to Petrie. Petrie digs it out of the corner, trying to go back to the point. Kept in there by Munson. Jared Munson out there getting some ice time. Comes back to Tubolino at the blue line. Here's Tubolino circling out by the point, trying to flip it in front. Knocked away, comes out to the blue line. Tubolino keeps it in, and it trickles to the blue line. Tubolino tries to keep it in, he can't, but back comes Ogdensburg. And they flip it into the corner, bounces in front of the net, and finally it's just going to be cleared out to center ice by the Raiders. Under 5 to play in the third period. Massena with a lead, and Ogdensburg dumps it down the ice, and icing will be the call. They try to catch Massena on a line change and dumped it down the ice, but icing will be the call. 4:40 left in the third period. Raiders up 5-1.
And that fifth goal, Captain A.J. Tubolino, is his fifth of the year with Jared Bradish and Jacob Whitcup picking up the assist. Great pass from Bradish as he saw the whole ice out there and found Tubolino on that right side. And A.J., who's had an outstanding game, I think he's been the catalyst for the Raiders here tonight, Jerry. He's just been simply outstanding.
This might be his best game of the year.
Oh, yeah, he's really
calmed his team down a little.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those, this was an even Steven game up until a few minutes ago, up until A.J. Tubolino got that goal.
Team.
Yeah, Coach Frederick just called a timeout, as you mentioned, and just wanted to regroup the forces and tell them, let's keep the heads on straight here.
That's right. Off the draw. Here's a shot. Zeppi Ogini fired it, and I don't know if there was a save or it was just wide, but the puck trickles back out to center ice. Raiders control in their own end. Clear it to the blue line, not out of the zone, but following up on the play is Alan Borden. Borden's going to lug it in the Ogdensburg zone, and it's picked off his stick by Wignall. He'll flip it over on the other side to Steve Lemieux. Lemieux's headman, here comes Ogdensburg, 2-on-0, breaking in on Swamp, and they don't get the shot off. Puck goes back to the point, stolen away, and Massena coming back the other way. Here comes Hatch with it. Hatch takes it in the corner, then stops, lost his edge, and back comes Ogdensburg. Under 4 minutes to go here. Down the ice it goes. That'll be an icing call against Ogdensburg as the puck goes deep. That was 2-on-0, and they didn't get a shot off.
2-on-0 from the red line when the strong side defenseman stayed, and the weak side defenseman, I don't know what he was thinking. He decided he was going to take a gamble, and the Berg just dumped it out of their zone, and all of a sudden it's 2-on-0. And Wignall, Larson's had 17 chances tonight, just blew that one.
It just rolled off his stick or something. I'm not sure. He didn't even get the shot off, but so the Raiders catch a break here. They could have given one up there. Now the puck along the boards in Ogdensburg territory. They'll dump it down the ice again, and that'll go for icing one more time against the Devils. 3:37 left in the third period with the Massena up on a score of 5-1.
And it was 2-1 up until the 6:31 mark when A.J. Tubolino made it 3-1, and then Danny Miller at the 7:25, and A.J. again at the 9:09 mark had that 2-1 lead to 5-1.
Rogers against Ashley off the face-off. Puck goes behind the net. Around the boards, Trent Thomas with it. Thomas steps by the check, takes it behind the net, looking. He'll stop in the corner. Here's Trent Thomas with it. Back around behind the net again, looking for somebody to pass to. Flips it back to the point. Here's a shot blocked as Munson, but he keeps it in. Backhands it right across the goal mouth. After it is Big Adam Smith from Massena. He flips it in behind. Around the boards it goes. Thomas trying to come up with it. Throws a check. It bounces free to Smith to Thomas. Trying to center in front, but it's knocked high in the air and bounces into the corner. Raiders back to the point. Here's Munson. He'll crank it up. It doesn't get all the way through. Trickles back to the blue line, down the ice. That's going to go off Massena's Munson. So, nope, no icing. And Munson picks it up and takes it behind the net. He loses his edge, but the Raiders come up with a puck and break out of the zone. Here comes Massena. Trent Thomas, head of steam, takes it right down the middle, trying to split, drop pass, Darling shot, save made, rebound, covered up. And nicely by Amo. Nice 2-on-2 play there.
Oh, what a play by Thomas. Full head of steam down that right side. Cut into the middle and drew everybody and their grandmother to him. He had them all. A little drop pass back to Darling, and he ripped a shot. And Ian Amo coming up with a big save.
Face off inside Ogdensburg territory. Darling takes a whack at it but can't control it. Back out to the neutral zone. Here comes Ogdensburg. They dump it to the Massena line. Picked up there by Richards. Richards trying to center it. Here's a sharp angle shot, goes up into the screen off a stick. And I think the draw will be in the Massena zone with 2:24 left in the third period. Raiders lead 5-1 on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard.
Yeah, that went off the Massena defenseman's shaft of his stick up into the netting at the back, and face off deep in Massena end.
Tyler Richards will take the face off. Off the draw, sits in the circle. Ogdensburg trying to barge their way through, but the Raiders come up with it somehow. Kyle Cameron. He'll drop it back. Alan Borden off the glass, out to center ice. Back in the zone. Delay offsides. Borden gloves it down. Picks it up. Long headman pass. Intercepted there and dumped back in the zone by the Blue Devils. In behind the net. Borden rips it around the boards. Darling will pick up the loose puck. Looks to pass. He's going to carry it. Still. Oh, he's going to take it across. And Kyle Cameron went just a little bit ahead of the play for the offsides. Under 2 minutes to go, still 5-1 Massena.
Yeah, Kyle was off by probably 3 feet, and the guy on the left wing was off about 8. So a little dipsy doodling. That was an easy call for the officials on that one.
Face-off just outside the Ogdensburg zone. Pearson will take the draw against Tubolino. Tubby wins the draw, barges his way through, trying to slide it through, but it's knocked away to the blue line, kept in at the point by Whitcup. Whitcup gets it to Petrie, looks. Petrie takes it in the corner, behind the net, stops. Here's Petrie, back to the point. Here's an opportunity for Ian Maxwell, who dumps it back around the boards in the corner. Oh, hard check thrown by Hadler. The puck squirts free to Petrie. Petrie takes it behind the net and battles for it. He ties up his man. The puck just sits there. Hadler in the fray, comes away with a puck, but we have a whistle. And what are they going to call? They're going to call them both?
I think so. It's going to be number 8, Pearson, out of frustration. And looks at number 18, Sean Petrie. I think they'll both, well, I don't know. We'll wait and see. Yeah, they're both going to go. Petrie was the only one I saw going to the box, but Pearson, now the gate opens up on the Ogdensburg side. It's Pearson, number 8 also. They'll probably each get a high sticking or roughing, but little scrimmage in behind, nothing serious. Down to 1:20 left. Raiders are going to go home with a W.
Yeah, this is a big win.
Sure is. Good Christmas present, early Christmas present for the Raider coaching staff.
Tubolino will take the face-off. 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders. Face-off left side. Off the draw, one by the Berg. They clear to the blue line, but not out. Tubolino gets a stick on it. Comes back in to Steve Lemieux. Lemieux flips it around the boards. And out to center ice comes Nathaniel Ashley across the blue line, knocked away. Back out to center ice by the Raiders. Just over a minute to go here in the third period. Raiders up on a score of 5-1. And here comes Jared Munson, and he'll just dump it in the Ogdensburg zone. As we go into the final minute of the play, puck down the ice. Munson gets a stick on it, so no icing. He comes and flips it ahead, high on the glass, out to center ice. Nice play by Munson. Ogdensburg controls at their own blue. Oh, Tubolino almost steals the puck. Still battling for it. Now Hadler battles for it along the boards. And they want another one, I think, Coach.
That Tubolino, he just doesn't stop working.
Back out to center ice. It'll come on the other side. And Ian Maxwell will dump it deep with about 20 seconds left in the third period. Around the boards it goes. Bounces right in front of the net. Almost stolen away there by the Red Raiders. And that was Zepi Ogene. Down the ice it goes with 9 seconds left. And the icing is called, and the faceoff will move back inside Ogdensburg territory. So big win for the Raiders as they are 2-0 in Division I. They've beaten Potsdam and Ogdensburg now, both at the away rinks.
Big win. Worked hard, and Leroy made the big saves when they've needed to, and this game was closer than the score indicates.
Absolutely. 8 seconds left off the draw. Puck trickles out to the neutral zone. Borden gathers it in, picks it up, flips it ahead to the neutral zone. That'll take care of the game. So the Massena Red Raiders come up with 3 goals in the third period to win this one going away, 5-1. But they broke open a very close game in the third period with those 3 goals, 2 by Captain A.J. Tubolino. Once again, the final score, Massena 5, Ogdensburg 1. Stay tuned. The postgame show is coming up on WMSA.